So you think Robert's there now?
Yeah, I think he's there.
Maybe he just can't talk.
Robert, can you hear us?
I can hear you guys, yeah. Can you
Oh,
hear me?
okay, good.
We can hear you.
Yeah.
We can hear you.
How you doing? Recording, okay?
Good, yeah, so far so good.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
Yeah. Welcome to the task force meeting, May 27th at 6:30 p.m. Tuesday. So call to the order. I'm Harita Nagabandi, the chair.
Jack Alward, Vice Chair.
And I am Robert Downs, Task Force Secretary.
And I'm Jason Scott, staff liaison.
Okay. Thank you. So we do have the agenda here. I haven't heard about any new appointments or resignations, Jason.
Nobody knew? Nope.
Okay.
Okay.
Now the next one in the agenda is open floor for any public comments or correspondence. I didn't hear anything from public either through email or messages, anything that you have heard.
No, nothing's come through to me
Okay.
yet.
Okay. So then we'll go to the next one. Actions taken, approval for the meeting minutes. So we had two meeting minutes that needs, two meetings that requires approval for the minutes. One was the April 10th meeting, and then we had a special meeting on May 1st. So these two require approval. So do I have a motion for approval for the meeting minutes?
I approve.
I guess I'll second, and then I'll just, before we vote, just I guess, so open discussion. Jason, would they look okay? I know I sent a couple revisions, but I think I got everything.
Yeah, I kept an eye on the revisions as they were coming in. So the version that's up for approval is the latest and greatest. I haven't
awesome,
had
cool.
a chance myself to go through them. I look and see if there's anything else that might be missing, but nobody's mentioned any other issues, so I think I'm gonna rely on the good graces of the rest of the group this time. I think we're good.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay, so the next one is report from the task force chair on the civil certification.
I guess just before we go, just as a should we just vote really quick? Just do a quick.
We can't hear.
Yeah, is there any way we can just turn Robert's volume up a bit? There we go. Hang on a second. I think he's bringing it up now. Am I trying to say something?
Oh, I was just saying, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we could use a little more volume for Robert if possible. Okay, can we try again, Robert? Can you just say something so we can hear the volume?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can barely hear you, sir. Just give us a moment.
I was just saying, okay. I was just saying we should vote on the motion before we proceed.
I'm sorry, it's so low we can barely understand you. We're gonna have to wait a moment. I'm sorry. I don't know if we can get the volume up.
Well, it looks like it's on 100%.
Okay, that might be the best we can get. You may have to try to enunciate as best you can to try to overcome the technical difficulties.
Yeah, you're on a different
Sure.
screen. You're like in a big screen in front of us.
No, I was saying we need to vote on the motion
Yes, we need to vote on the motion, that's correct.
Yeah.
before we go forward. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I think
Did he
he's,
say
he'll need
second
to
it?
second it. Robert, do you want to second it, Robert? I already said yes.
He forwarded a motion, and we need a second from you if possible to approve the minutes.
No, I seconded the minute, and then
Oh, you
just
did,
before
okay.
we go to the next item, we need to do just a voice vote just for formality. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Well, hopefully.
We are good with the meeting?
All in
Yes.
favor?
Okay, okay. So the next one was the task force chair report on the progress towards silver certification. So we have received an email that we have 310 points.
Something like that, yeah. Yeah.
something in those.
320.
320 was
Yeah.
approved. We required 450 points for silver certifications, and we have received 320. So there are certain items that Jack was following up on to see if we can get more points for. Um, let's see how that goes. Apart from that, I don't have any other updates on the certification unless Jason or Jack want.
Yeah,
no,
I got something, well, it's just that, I think one of the correspondence that we had on one of said we really have to get going on the homeless piece.
yes, yep, so,
Yeah, because we're gonna lose the certification by the end of the year for bronze.
yes.
Yeah, okay, okay.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
essentially, we, a lot of the information that we had already provided to Summer, from our previous bronze certification is still good up to a certain point,
Yeah.
but it's a 3-year look-back period.
Yeah,
And if, anything was before that look-back period, then as we move through the year, some of those things may come out of date, and we
Right.
need to show
yeah.
updated work in those same categories if we're gonna still get points in those areas, so. I have to look and find the things that are kind of right on the borderline,
Yeah.
so we can make sure that those stay current. And then, I have to set a meeting with Melissa Hicks, to see if we can sit down and talk about places where there may be additional credit that we can claim that we haven't yet submitted on. There's some work that's done through her department, that may qualify, but I didn't have that information in front of me at the time of the submission for the silver certification. So I'm hoping that there's some points in there that we can take advantage of. But I need to sit down and talk with her about, educating myself on some of the programs they've been conducting over the last couple of years to see if I can find anything that fits.
Yeah, I think what we need is something like what, like he said, example was with Sudbury or Southbury. They gave us an example of things that we needed.
Yes.
And I think we could probably use those, because it was like a generic type of piece, where we can actually use it. We just gotta get somebody from our database who can actually input that stuff. It's-
Okay, so you're saying these are activities that community has performed that
That I
you're
think
pretty
it-
confident that
they're-
Rocky Hill has as well?
We could probably use the same one. I think that was the point he was trying to make. We could probably use everything they have here, but we have to get something out in the database to say we need something for homelessness in our, in the Rocky Hill.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
that's-
sure there's been some outreach that's happened over the last couple of years. So we
Yeah.
just gotta figure out, what's been
Yeah.
done, and then figure out how it fits.
This is gonna be time sensitive, because we
Sensitive,
really,
yes.
because we really get it done before August.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah, so, if you need any help in talking about it, I'd be glad you helped on this one, because I think we have to
Sure.
treat this as our top priority.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
maybe, if I can set a meeting with her,
Yeah.
and maybe
we can
at a
invite
time
you
when it's
if you want
convenient
to.
too, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah,
So I know you're not as available during the workday,
I
so.
can make myself available. I mean,
Yeah.
if I know the date and time,
Yeah.
I can make myself available.
Yeah.
I'll reschedule it and I can do that.
Okay.
yeah, but, yeah, do you think you have to go through this lady
It's her department,
Oh,
so
it's her
yeah,
department.
if I'm going to get that
Homeless.
information,
out
Then-
in Rocky Hill database? You'd have to go through her then, probably?
well, if she's done programs in the past,
Yeah.
I haven't found advertisement for them.
Yeah,
So I didn't have the physical proof to
Yeah.
get. So by working through her office, I should be able to get the things that I
Okay.
need to prove that certain things are
we
done.
need that, and I think she said we need a 211 number
Correct.
that
Oh,
we can
okay.
actually put out there, those two requirements
Sure.
needed for the bronze, to keep the bronze
Okay,
certificate, so.
all right, I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, it was one of the first emails we got.
That we
Yeah,
received,
yeah,
yep.
like
Yeah.
2 weeks
I
ago.
remember seeing
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Um,
Well, actually, I think it was Rachel Richard that sent us.
Kate Richard.
Kate Richard.
Richards, yeah.
Correct. So, is something that you will check with Melissa and?
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get that scheduled, if I can schedule it tomorrow for some point, maybe in the next week or two. What I should do is, I'll check and see what she has for openings, and then I can email you guys and see if
Yeah,
you wanna
yeah.
attend.
Okay.
And I can set up a meeting, and you can see if you can come. And if not, then, I can just take copious notes and pass the information on when I'm done to you.
Yeah,
Happy to do that. Yeah, so we'll see. I know that there's programs that Rocky Hill's been involved with for years. It's just a matter of documenting it, so I think we'll be okay. And then there's equity toolkit things that we need to work
Yeah.
on too. I think
Yeah.
I should probably come up with like a plan of attack that I can show you guys so that we can present it at the next meeting. And, you know, I want to talk to the town manager about it too and just kind of fill him in on what the
Yeah.
necessary steps are, so that maybe we can hit the ground running on it.
Because he was kind of concerned about the bronze, losing the bronze too, and one of his email, he actually
Sure, yeah.
has you back and said, you know.
Yeah,
Harris, don't
because we were
still have
talking
it.
about silver and then we got
Yeah.
this email about bronze.
Yeah.
Which was
so
kind of a
we're
surprise.
still okay right now, it's just that we don't know how okay we're gonna be if we don't.
Right,
If we don't
I thought
discover
the,
it in August,
We
right?
ha- Yeah, yeah, that's.
I
key.
think when Summer was, you know, in our first conversation with her, I think she said the look back period started January 1st.
Yeah,
What, 2022?
yeah.
Was it the year of the bronze
Yeah,
certification, I think?
Yeah.
So I think that's, I'll confirm with her that that's the start of our look back period, so I can look for things that might be like, you know, borderline.
Is she still our fellow?
So there are new fellows coming on board.
Do you think she's gonna still be a fellow then, or is that, do you think she's getting replaced? Because I sent her something.
Yes, so typically when we've had a fellow assigned to us, it's just been for a year at a time. But I think her position was different than the others.
Okay, good.
So she might still be there, although anytime I've seen her on an email over the last week and a half, I haven't gotten a response back from her. So I was like, well, she could be on
Yeah, me-
vacation or
I
something
saw
like
you.
that.
Okay,
So
yes,
you're
yeah,
thinking-
I thought
Yeah.
I seconded you guys on the.
Yep,
on the piece.
and, you know, someone had sent an email that referenced last year's, fellows that we had. We had
Yeah.
2 assigned to us last year. So I needed some clarification, make sure Summer's still on as part of our program or not. She might have moved on, or she might be working with some other communities right now and maybe just hasn't gotten back to us, but I'll touch base with her tomorrow. I'll send her an email and just have her, you know, just check in with us for a minute and
Yeah, 'cause
see.
I-
And if it's not, then we'll find out who
Because
our
I actually
problem.
looked at the 1.1, she was talking about walking my feet, my sneakers.
Walking my shoes.
Walking my shoes, and
Yeah.
I actually, I sent her that piece, so we'll get credit for that piece of the 1.1.
Yep, yeah, the 2024 event, yeah, I saw that.
Did you see it from me?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay, good.
So,
It's funny, I got something back that said, from her, it said I didn't go to her or something, but you got it,
I
right?
received it. I
You
saw
received
Yeah,
it?
it came to me.
Okay, good. So I'm not sure if Summer got it.
Maybe out of office message could be.
It wasn't an out of office, it was kind of
Okay.
like, it was something else.
all right, well, I'll mention that in the email I sent her.
And there was
Just touch
also
base.
one in 2025 also, the same, walk in the mile.
Well,
Yeah.
that hasn't happened yet, though, has it?
No, that's
It's
25,
September.
24, I sent her the 24 one.
Yeah, we're talking about the 2024.
24.
25 also, I thought it happened, oh, maybe not, sorry.
Well, it can't
2024,
happen, yeah.
I think there's
It's
one
like
scheduled.
It's a November type of thing. I think it was November, September, November.
Sometime in the
the fall.
fall.
Yeah, it was the
Mhm.
fall.
Yeah, so, yes, we definitely have to, kind of come up with a game plan over the next, like, 2 weeks, how we wanna
Yeah.
attack,
Yes.
you know, keeping our bronze certification, and then also what we need
Yeah,
to get to the
Yeah,
audit.
to the
bronze,
silver
and then we
audits,
can get
yeah.
to
The
the.
roadmap on how to
Yeah.
complete the steps that we need. So I think that, you know, if I can get some more data together, I think we'll know where we stand. So my hope, like I said, was to kind of get some information together, pass it on to you guys, and then, you know, that way kind of the leadership has an idea, and then we can present that to the rest of the group at the next meeting. And if we need to do a special meeting between now and then, I'm available, so.
You know, I have to give you kudos because everything that you put on certificate for keeping for the silver, they really liked it. It was, you know, it was almost all your stuff, so, yeah,
Okay,
just
that's
kudos
good.
to you.
And, you know, they asked us for some more information on a few things, but it wasn't an excessive amount, so I think we can.
Yeah,
fill
it's like,
those.
I can work on, there was another one I was kind of looking at too, it's like the food waste thing. Did you get my food waste thing?
I don't know if I did.
I did see.
Okay, good. Yeah, I put you on, yeah.
Transfer
we're-
station.
The new sign, I saw the new sign.
Yeah, we actually have another new sign that I got from Blue Earth,
Yeah,
and we put it on the bid, the trash bin,
Yeah.
food waste.
okay.
So there's actually 2 new
Okay.
This one tells the difference, you know,
So
between
what can go in?
compost, what you want compost.
Yeah, it's good. We don't want to
compost.
contaminate the waste by putting in things that don't belong in there.
Yeah, so,
That makes sense.
yeah, I got it free from
From
Blue
Blue
Earth, which was Joe,
Yeah.
I got it approved through Joe too, so.
Oh, that's great.
Joe thanked me for it, so
Excellent.
that was good.
Yeah, it's a, you know, Blue Earth, that's a private collector in town, but they're taking it to the same anaerobic digester as the town does when we pick up our stuff and
Yeah.
bring it down there. So I imagine, you know, what's allowed in there is exactly the same.
Yeah, I actually went down there,
Have you?
to the site.
Yeah, I want to go down there
In
at
the
some
south
point.
end.
Yeah, Joe
Or the
talked
north
about
end
taking
of
it.
Hartford. And there really wasn't too much. It was like a lot of bins in there and some trucks, and
Mhm.
there wasn't anything in back. It was like they had the compost right in front of the building. I think they must scoop it up and then bring it down to biosphere, so that's.
Yep. As far as I know too, that's the only facility in the state, although I think that's going to expand. I think Manchester just applied for a grant to build one for themselves, for the community there. So that's good. I know there's a couple in Massachusetts. There's one like right on the Connecticut border, Agawam. So it's good. You know, I just started doing food scrap collection at my house. So, you know, USA Waste, which is part of the state parent company, is our trash hauler.
Right, yeah.
They're trying just a pilot program in my area. So, you know, it was a couple bucks more every month. But, you know, for my family of four, volume-wise, it's about 5 gallons every 2 weeks. And a lot of it is just like food kids don't finish, or those little scraps when
Yeah.
making salad and things like that, you know. Or if there was some vegetables in the fridge that I didn't get to fast enough, which happens a lot. So yeah, it's nice to see. I don't know what the weight is on it. I haven't weighed any of it, but you know, we do track that here at you know, what we ourselves collect.
Joe
You know.
was collecting,
Yeah,
tracking
yep.
the weight on it.
Exactly. So I went back and I looked at the records. So what he's picked up for the senior center and what he's picked up down at the transfer station and,
Yeah, right.
you know, delivered. The last time he did a drop off, the total since they started collecting, in the middle of last year, the 5,800 pounds. Right.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that's
that's
great.
not bad. That's not
Yeah.
bad. You know, and every little bit helps, and that's pounds. It's a small number compared to the tons of
Oh,
trash that we produce
yes.
each month.
Yeah.
But it's something, you know, and different studies that I've read, you know, they say it can be anywhere between like 8% and 40% of
Yeah,
that
yeah.
municipal solid waste that gets landfilled. So, you know, if you're, like for me, I'm kind of conservative about my estimates, so I'm saying, okay, maybe 20%. When I've been watching my trash volume at home, I would say it's about 20% of my trash is food waste that I'm
Yeah.
diverting, so.
For me, it's 50%
Yeah.
of my trash.
Oh,
Yeah.
Because of all the vegetable scraps and other things.
Yeah.
that go in.
It was
Yeah.
like the watermelon scraps, huh?
Sure.
You buy a watermelon, that's
You don't get a
10
lot.
pounds right there.
That's
You
right.
just scoop out the watermelon, but
Yeah.
then it's scraps, it's like, that stuff's heavy.
Sure, yeah, we just did corn on the cob.
Yeah,
I mean, you
yeah,
eat
exactly.
you eat the outside, but it, you know, you've
It's
shucked
like-
off the outside, and then the
Yeah.
cob goes right in there.
Yeah.
So it's like, it does add up.
How often does he take it to the?
It's kind of as needed, right? So as the bin fills up. So, you know, there's some months where he'll do it every month.
Yeah.
And then like in the wintertime when things slow down, he might go 3 months because there's less people dropping stuff
We
off.
have been at the transfer station.
Yeah.
1 month it gets filled, so it's.
Yeah, it's you know, it varies too. It's like sometimes he'll drop off like 80, 100 pounds on a month, and then other times it's like 500, 600, 700 pounds. So it kind of, I think it varies.
I think he's doing it like weekly, maybe even bi-weekly.
Maybe. I mean, they're billing us monthly, so I'm just seeing
Oh,
the
okay.
monthly,
Yeah.
the monthly total that gets entered in the
Yeah,
spreadsheet.
the winter time's probably, it's not as much,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah,
But
I think
now
less
it's-
people go to the transfer station. It's not open as much, you know.
And from the high school compost, that is taken care by Blue Earth and it doesn't go to our.
Yes, I don't have that
Right.
number in front of me. I
Yeah.
don't know how much that is, but I could ask the school department for that
That would be great.
and just
So-
figure it out.
So we have the total number, right?
Yeah.
On how much.
That's a good idea.
I tried to get it one time, the numbers from them, but it was really hard for me to get.
Okay.
My contact there was, she was cooperative, but
Yeah.
I couldn't said somebody else did it, and then I tried to get in touch with that guy, and then he didn't really, he didn't respond back.
Okay, yeah, it's,
Let it go.
there's one of the assistant superintendents that's in charge of facilities, so I might start with him, because most likely it would fall under his guys. He's just about ready to retire, he's retiring in like a week. So
Yeah.
I'll reach out to him and see, it might have already been handed off to someone else, I don't know, but I'll find out.
Because I asked the Blue Earth people, who's your contact for it at the high school? And she said, I says, Joe Linetti? And they said, no, it's somebody else, probably from the high school, so.
Yeah, so the
So
school.
They're separate.
Yeah, the
town.
education department is different from the rest of the town
So,
services.
Yeah, right.
So it's you know, they have their own facilities director.
Yeah, okay,
You
yeah.
know, so there's like one, you know, the town facilities, other than the schools, are managed by one group, and then they manage the schools.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they've got their own contracts, and yeah, their contact would be different than Joe. I mean, we work together on things, but yeah, that would all be managed
Have
through
you
the
heard
school.
anything about the other, like the middle school and the grammar schools in town? How's their-
I don't know if there's been any outreach to do that. That's a good question. I'll ask the
I thought
assistant
it was
superintendent
mandated
that.
for.
It hasn't
this
gone
year.
into effect yet, I
I
don't
think
think.
it's mandated by the end of the year. Of this
Yeah, I
year.
think 2026, I think it's gonna start, yeah. But it hasn't started for 2025.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so maybe for the fall
So you think,
school
you
year,
think
they'll
they'd
have
be
something going?
getting something going
Maybe.
pretty soon.
Maybe the high school might be a great pilot study
Yeah,
to see
yeah,
how
I
they
think, yeah, I think that's what
implement
it
it.
is. Be a
Um,
pilot type of thing.
I think having young kids at home and seeing how quickly they pick up new ideas. I imagine that, you know, my hope is that, you know, if they were to roll it out into a elementary school program, the kids would adopt it really easily,
Yeah.
you know.
And more
They-
mellow-
Yeah,
high
they
school
like
kids.
doing things like that, you know, organization's fun.
Correct.
So it's like, it's just like a fun little thing at the end of the meal, so, hopefully anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, I had no problem as a kid when recycling rolled out, you know, I had no problems doing it. You know, I had to kind of educate my family about it a little bit, because we talked about it in school first.
Right.
So we were kind of like the leading edge of the sword, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
But we were able to do that, and it wasn't really a big deal for a kid, because we just adapt more easily, I think. But yeah, hopefully, you know.
Yeah, they have one big bin in the high school for the Blue Earth, and they
Yeah.
keep it right in the cafeteria so they can actually go to it.
And it sounds like if this is gonna be a statewide mandate, then they'll probably have to have more of these digesters around to handle that volume, you know? It's that, you don't wanna truck it all the way across the state to one location. It might
Yeah.
make sense to have a couple of them around so they're more regional.
Yeah, you don't want to send everything to Pennsylvania.
Correct, yeah. Yeah, that's, and, you know, and that's the other thing too, is right, everything we divert could cut down on the amount that we truck out of state, which is great.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, no, we got off subject from the process
No,
of
I think
Well, actually, that was part of the,
That's part
the
of the
silver
discussion,
thing.
silver
and it's like,
certification,
yeah, it's like, yeah, we had a few at the end, like, 11.3 is, that was one of the years, and 12 was the, but we got a lot of points though for the other side. We even got a success story thing with the 5.4. Dynamic and resilient planning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's been nice is that the timing of the silver certification kind of helps that we've been doing some work in affordable housing to try to
Yeah.
improve Rocky Hill's numbers. You know, we want to do better, and that kind of fits in with our current plan on conservation and development. So that was kind of part of it over this last decade to try to achieve these goals. And then now with a draft plan on conservation and development going forward for the next 10 years, you know, that still plays heavily. So hopefully, you know, that's something the town can continue to focus on. You know, there's still development happening in Rocky Hill. There's not a lot of it. A lot of the town's been already built out, but there is still new developments going in, and so, you know, there's, I think, incentives for developers to try to fit a certain amount of affordable housing in there, which is great. But we could see a more varied stratification of that affordable housing. You know, we're kind of hitting some but there are definitely lower percentages handling people with lower income than we're currently servicing. So I just talked with the town planner today. She's hoping that over time Rocky Hill can dig more into those categories as well. So with luck, but it takes time and takes the effort of a lot of different people all working together to make those things happen. The private developers have to find these sites that are worth it economically for them to construct, and then fitting that into their plan when they develop these things. So I think places like Kelson Row and Stepney Place that are under construction right now, and Vessel, there's components there in those locations. I think each one of them has a certain percentage that helps get us closer to the goal that Rocky Hill has.
I was looking at the conservation and development.
Good, you had a chance to look at it?
Yeah, and I actually sent in my few comments on it.
Good.
So, but I think the most interesting place was the affordable housing section there. It was pretty interesting. It's talking about, close, I think 20%, something like that. For,
Yeah, it's a hard target to hit.
Yeah.
And a lot of communities have trouble with it.
Buildings that are, affordable housing.
Yeah, and with that, by adding new units that are affordable, they're usually lumped into a larger development with a lot more units.
Yeah.
And so, community has concerns about adding that many new condos and apartments to town, and there's always conversation about that, and being smart with the way you develop.
They kind of lumped it with the senior housing too. That was part of it. Too. So.
Yeah, which is good. I know our senior housing, those buildings are getting older, so.
Yeah.
It's a big site, and there
Yeah.
might be hopefully some room there in the future to expand in that area. That'd be great. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else
Okay, thank you,
at this
Jason.
point. Yeah.
Thank you, Jason and Jack. So the next one is discussion of the old business. The first one is encourage an equitable and just food system. Rocky Hill Community Farm update.
Yes.
I have seen something come through, but I will.
Yeah. So unfortunately, we're not going to have plots available in 2025. There's still testing that needs to be done on the site.
Yeah.
We need to secure a water source.
Yeah.
So they want to test. There's 2 wells currently on the site. There used to be a house, right? It was a working farm
Right.
with a house.
Yep.
There was a hand dug well and a drilled well at the site. They're still there, but we have to sample that water and make sure that
Yeah.
contaminants haven't migrated into it.
Okay.
We had cleaned up the site, and farms have chemicals that they use, fertilizers, and even the paint on the house, the lead paint on the house had made its way into the soil. So we had a lot of cleanup that we had to do in order to make sure that the site was ready. And as part of that, there's continued testing that happens after the removal for a certain period of time to make sure that contaminants haven't migrated around the site. So that initial testing, was completed at the conclusion of the removals, but now we haven't completed the post-removal testing. So I think the last of it, I think, is in the late summer or early fall. And then, like I said, with those wells, we want to test the wells too to see if there's a water supply available. And then there was talk about changing the location of where the beds are going to be placed.
Yeah.
Going back
Where
to
are
an
they?
earlier design.
Where were they originally supposed to go? 'Cause it's like if this is the barn, is like I know they were right in front of it.
Yeah, they were near
Yeah,
the
the
road,
left
near
or
New
the
Road.
right?
I think they were, if that's the barn, if this is New Britain Ave and this is New Road, I think they're originally talking here.
Closer to New Road then?
Yeah, and I think
Okay.
now they're talking about moving it into the site a little bit further.
Farther over.
Yeah, so that's the only information I have at the moment. So I don't know if it's going to be the same amount of number of plots, or if that number of plots is going to change. I'm not sure. I think it depends on the size of that other area that they
I
were
would
looking
think
at.
where you have to have the water is the most important piece there.
Right.
To have.
You need water. You need to water your plants, and it's hard for people to bring.
Yeah, you know,
water
you
to
don't
not
bring
easy.
water,
Yeah. So,
Something closer to the water is what you're saying, right? The plots being.
The plots have to be near the water. As a matter of
Yeah.
fact, it really should be right in right in it, like what Cromwell has. It's right there. I mean, you have a hose that they connect, and they can just go up and down
Yeah.
the aisle.
so we'll see what they come up with. You know, if those wells turn out to not be the solution, then they're gonna have to look into something else.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's portable tanks that they can bring in and fill it up periodically, I don't know.
Yeah.
Not easy, you know, regardless of what it is, it's more investment will be needed.
Yeah.
Because we don't, you know, if we were gonna run lines from the well, like I don't know if there's a pump on site, we have to bring a pump in for that. And then, you know, running lines to wherever the water's gonna be distributed
Yeah.
out of.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, well, that's too bad.
That's true. So bad, yeah. The next one is promote waste reduction and reuse. I know we were planning a
yeah.
date for the presentation,
Yep.
the trash recycling food waste presentation. So, anything did you hear from Worth or anyone?
Yeah, I don't have any confirmations from anybody else yet, but I did start work on the presentation a little bit. I haven't really built any slides yet, but I downloaded some photos I wanted to use, and then I started piecing together
Is this
facts
one
that I
with
want to talk.
Is
Yeah,
it-
Joe's going to be part of it too.
Okay, he's
Um,
bought into it then?
Oh yeah, he
Okay,
wants to.
good.
And
So-
hopefully he's still available. But
Okay.
Can we confirm July 11th date? or-
yeah, let's confirm it.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, you know, even if I have to present it by myself, I'll make it fun, and it'll be good. So we'll hopefully get some involvement. Like I said, the mayor has a organization she wanted to reach out to see if might be able to get some funding to have like some prizes for the people that are there.
Okay, good.
You know, have a little quiz and make it fun.
I'm sure you can do 45 minutes real easy.
I think it goes kind of quick,
Yeah.
especially when you're interacting with people.
Yeah.
That you know you piece together something in your mind, and then I have a feeling it probably, you know, the time gets used up pretty quick. It's
Oh,
different
yeah.
than just doing a quick 5-10 minute presentation on something where it's timed and there isn't a lot of back and forth. So this,
Yeah,
you
you're
know,
just gonna go through the nuts and bolts.
yeah, and you know, educate
Chimney
people.
Blue, you know, some food waste talk and, you know.
Yep, yeah, you know, please don't put your grass clippings in with your trash and
Yeah,
little
bring
things
down
like
the
that.
Transfer station.
Yeah, you know, it's and that's part of it too, is just kind of making people aware of what services are available.
Yeah.
Because
Well, yeah.
not everybody gets a chance to come down to the
That's
transfer
what
stations.
that's what we really wanted in this presentation. I
Yeah.
think.
Got it.
So it's kind of, you know, it's twofold, is to kind of educate people on what their options are in town, what they can do, you know, and new ideas that they might want to try implementing in their home, and then also, you know, how to not contaminate
Yeah.
whatever stream you're using, whether that be recycling or municipal waste.
Yeah, that'd
Um,
be perfect for the food waste.
yeah.
You know?
And then also, you know, talk about our bulk waste pickup and
Right.
leaves and brush and things like that.
Yeah.
Which on the subject, only because it just happened, we have a new phone number for people that want to have curbside bulk waste.
Yeah.
So if they're looking to get rid of furniture and things like that.
Yeah.
Typically, they've called into the Public Works admin, Lynn Witowski, but now we have a new phone number. It's going to be 860-338-9612. So that's 860-338-9612. It's going to operate the same way as before. It's just it's going to the town manager's office. And then we've also added a new email address, so if somebody wants to email a request, they can do that at transferstation@rockyhillct.gov. Transfer station's all one word, so transferstation@rockyhillct.gov. The phone number that we have set up does allow for text messages and voicemails.
Okay.
So, you know, it's one of those things where if you came up with something in the middle of the night, you know, you could theoretically still send a quick text in. I would just recommend you have your name, contact number if it's different than the one that you're calling in on, and you know, try to specify what it is that you want picked up. That way, if there's any questions, that can hopefully get resolved easily without having to follow up too much. So hopefully make things simpler. And we pick up 3 days a week, We don't pick up every day, but we do pick up 3 days a week, so they can get you on the schedule, and when your pickup day is, it's based on what region of town that you're in. So hopefully, you know, it'll continue to run as smooth as possible. But yeah, that just started last week, so it's good.
Okay, is that gonna be coming out in Rocky Hill, you know, Life or?
Oh, yeah, yeah, I don't know about Rocky Hill Life, but,
Reminder maybe?
may-
Reminder?
maybe,
Yeah.
they may have done that already, but, the information's on our website already.
Oh, okay.
And, we'll try to get that out in some of our town publications that we put out, different, newsletters and things like that. We'll update the information,
Okay.
fit that in.
Okay.
Yeah,
So the next one is inclusive and equitable community impacts, equity coaching from Sustainable City.
yes. So, I'm gonna reach out to Sustainable CT and get all the information I can, to give to the town manager about what would be involved with equity coaching. I think, having read a little bit up on it, it's, small group training.
Yeah.
And then from there may be additional things that we can do, but I think the small group training is kind of the first step. So we'll have to see, you know, if we can get some people involved and get some training done. And,
is this
and go from
something
there.
that we need for this area
Well,
as a requirement?
We'll need it for the
silver?
silver certification.
Correct,
That was kind of one of the sticking points.
Yeah.
That was why we couldn't get to 500.
Right.
Even if I had submitted every single thing I could
We wouldn't,
find,
yeah.
we still wouldn't have qualified for silver without
Correct,
this.
correct.
So, you know, the
Yeah.
mayor and the town manager both have an interest in us getting the silver. So this is just, you know, part of the roadmap, so.
Should they finish it or they should start at an?
I'll ask them and
That
how
would be
far we
great.
have to get with the
Correct,
process.
correct.
And then, try to get it done, you know, within the deadline.
Yes.
So that's, that'll be tomorrow's project, start in on that. And, I'll keep you guys in the loop this month, just so you're aware of where we're at. Yeah, that's all I have for now. But I have to kind of train myself a little bit on that section, because I've been focusing on some of the stuff that we've already done, and I hadn't been looking ahead as much as I should have. So I just want to, you know, make sure I've got good information that I can present to them, so we know exactly what we have to do.
Yep. While I was driving, I have seen that there is a Green Expo on Saturday, the May 31st at 10 a.m.
Where's that?
It's here in the Rocky Hill Congregational Church. They host it.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of vendors, vendors coming in. So maybe if we are available, we can have our sustainable city desk there to kind of spread some awareness.
Yeah, what was the date on that?
It was May 31st.
May 31st.
I think it's at 10 a.m. I have seen the sign, 10 or 10:30.
Yeah. Okay, well, I could probably take a
Green
quick drive
Expo.
down.
Green Expo.
Yeah. This is the second year they've
This
done
is
that,
the
right?
third year.
Third year?
Yeah,
Okay.
third year, yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
So we'll see if I'll reach out to someone. I think I know someone from Rocky Hill Church, Congregational Church. I'll reach out to her to see if we can have a table there.
Which church is that? Is that the big one?
The one next to
Where?
the community center. Yeah,
Okay.
on the way to the community
Yeah,
center.
okay.
I just saw that and I thought maybe we can spread awareness on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'd be happy to stop in on that. I don't think I have anything going on that day, so.
Even if you're busy, I
Yeah.
think the task force members, we should be able to be there. Just have some flyers ready for people.
Well, that's this
Saturday.
Saturday.
This Saturday,
Yeah,
yeah,
okay.
this Saturday. I just saw that.
We need t-shirts.
Oh, we can actually wear
Wear
our
a
t-shirts. Exactly. Do you have anything?
I haven't tried mine on yet.
Me neither, me neither.
How about you? Did you try yours on yet?
I don't have one.
You didn't get one? Oh,
It's
okay.
Probably wouldn't have fit anyway, to be honest with you. It's much pizza in 2024. Part of my sustainability initiative is.
I mean, it's a
pizza.
water bottle too.
Yeah.
I
It's
am
good.
using water
It's a
bottle.
nice one.
Yeah, so that's great. I don't know of anything else that's happening in the next couple of weeks. That's the only thing I know of. So.
There was one I have seen from the Inclusion Commission is, looks like there is a Pride Day parade happening
Oh,
in
yeah.
Middletown. I need to get some more details on it. I have seen something come through. I'll provide more details on the date and time. I think I should have it in my email,
Yeah.
but I will get more information on that.
Sustainable CT has that small meet and greet.
Oh, yeah,
for
yeah,
Yes.
you're gonna go, huh?
weeks. Yeah, I'll go to that.
Okay, good.
Cause it's after work, so I should be able to sneak over there for a
That
little while.
would be
Okay, good.
It's at the Mark Twain House.
Yeah.
I've never been in there, so that'd be nice to look,
4 to
look
7,
around.
I think.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to stay the whole time, so get home
That's
for
good.
for
At
dinner
least
with
any
kids, but-
one of us can go and represent.
Yeah,
the
and it'd be
Rocky
good to
Hill.
meet the new fellows and you know, if Summer's there, it'd be great to
Yeah.
catch up with her and, yeah, kind of.
She's really our only contact, really.
Yeah, and just interact with the community a little bit. I know Summer said too that she wanted to come in here during one of these meetings too,
Mhm,
and
yeah, that's
talk,
right,
you know,
yeah.
follow up. So when I call her tomorrow, or email her, see if we can set something up.
That would be great.
And if I have to, you know, I don't want it to have to be a whole month. So if there's something, you know, if we need to talk sooner, I might be able to do a special meeting, or we can have her come in, do the presentation, and talk about next steps.
Because I think she wanted to talk about this a little.
Sure, yeah, she
detail.
lives in
Silver.
Weathersfield, I think, so
Yeah,
it's,
she
yeah,
does.
she's right here. Yep.
Okay. Okay, if there is no more discussion, I think the next, the announcement of our next meeting is Monday, June 30th at 6:30 PM. It'll be at the same place.
Right here, yep,
Yeah.
yep, right here.
Council chambers. So, that's it, I guess. So do I have a motion to attend the meeting?
Motion.
Second. Second.
Thank you, Robert.
Thanks, Robert.
So, all in favor?
I know,
No, I
there
can't
is
do
no
that,
one
I can't
else.
do that officially, that's you.
But, yeah, but there is no one, all in favor?
Okay, got this thing done, yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.